What's up YouTube? Welcome to another episode of Expat Survival. In this video, I'm going to be walking you through how to get a work visa in China. Something to note is that every city and every district jurisdiction is different, but my solution is going to walk you through Barney style over a general application so that you know roughly how the whole process goes and you feel a little bit more comfortable going through the process when you come to work in China. So let's get started. Before you even consider looking for a job in China, I highly recommend you just have all of these ready to go beforehand because it's going to make your life so much easier in the future. So you need a passport obviously with at least 6 months of validity and 5 empty pages. It may change, but typically 5 and 6 months of validity is right to go. You need your bachelor's degree. It's almost impossible to get a job here without a bachelor's degree unless you're like a dancer or a singer. You need 2 years work experience proof. So your previous employer needs to write you a letter saying that you've worked in a position for 2 years and you have this much experience with the company letterhead. And you need a background check, either stateside or federally. Like maybe you have a district or state police station that can give you a background check. If you're already in China as a tourist visa, I highly recommend you get your physical examination done. You can look for a hospital that provides foreigner services to do a body checkup, and it pretty much has like multiple floors where they draw your blood, they get your height and weight, they get your blood pressure, all that stuff. And then they'll give you 2 sealed envelopes after like 2 weeks or something for your residence permit and your work visa. You need a temporary residence permit as soon as you hit ground in China, usually within 24 hours. Go to your nearest police station. And if you want to know exactly how to get to your police station, you can look at how to get a driver's license in China. I walk you through it like Barney style there with Baidu and all that. It helps to have a job offer. I know I said before you don't need to have a job offer, but at least get everything else done before and then wait till you get the job offer to do everything at once. You'll need 5 1-inch white background photos at certified locations in China. So there are certain locations that will do it specifically just for a work visa, and they'll give you a receipt saying, hey, this foreigner has went to the right place to get the picture that is needed for the foreigner visa or for the work visa. Expect to pay between 2,000 to 3,000 RMB for this whole process. The prices can change based on different districts and different locations, but 2,000 to 3,000 RMB just so you're ready. In this scenario, I'm going to be going through the situation where you're already in China, but you're on a tourist visa in China, and you're going to have to go like back and forth between your home country because it happens a lot here actually. But you can use the same principles and same ideas if you want to get the work visa strictly in your home country and then come to China. So after you get all those papers that I just mentioned a while ago, I know it seems like a lot, but you just got to deal with it. Then I'm going to walk you through the brief steps from start to finish on how to get it, and then I'm going to go a little bit more into detail. Okay, the first step is gathering all your documents, getting everything you need notarized. So you need your bachelor's degree, 2-year work experience, and your background check notarized and translated. And then all the medical examination, all that's all done in China, and the pictures all done in China, don't worry about that. You can expect this process to be between 1 or 2 months. It's pretty time consuming to get notarized and translated documents. The second step is for your HR to apply online at the Foreign Worker Ministry. So you give them digital copies of the paperwork I mentioned above, and then they'll apply online. The third step is receiving your work notice from the online application once it's approved. The work notice looks something like this, where it just says, hey, you're allowed to work in China, and it tells you your personal information. So after you get your work notice, you need to go back to your home country. Now, if you're married to a Chinese citizen, you may not have to go back. In Guangzhou, I did not have to go back. I was lucky, I just stayed in China the whole time. But if you're just a foreigner here, single or not married, to have no Chinese relations at all, then you need to go back to your home country. At your home country, with your passport, go to the Chinese Consulate with the work notice and apply for the Z visa. The Z visa allows you to go into China for work. Now that takes about 1 to 2 weeks, so after you get your passport back with a C visa, go back to China. Once you go back to China, First thing you should do, go to the police station and get your temporary residence permit application. So I know it's a pain. Every time you get back to China, you need to apply for it, but the police do spot check this. After you enter with your Z visa, you got your temporary residence permit. Now comes the fun part. Go to your HR and now you're gonna apply for a work permit. The work permit is pretty much a card that says you're allowed to work in China. This is not your work visa. It's just a card saying you can work in China legally. It's a different system. What you do is get all the original documents, the translated documents I mentioned above, go directly to the customs office or wherever your HR takes you and apply for the work permit. The work permit will take maybe 1 or 2 weeks. After you receive your work permit, then you will need to apply for your residence permit. The residence permit is for your entry and exit access. So with the residence permit, it looks like this. You can enter and leave China whenever you want and not have to deal with the tourist visa rules where you need to go back or leave the country every 90 days or so. So you apply for the residence permit, give them your passport, you have to pay a fee, then you wait 2 weeks and you finally get your passport with your residence permit and your work permit, and now you can legally work in China. I know that was a handful to process. I hope you're writing notes. If you weren't, you can leave a comment down below and I'll answer it. And yeah, it is a pretty tedious process. But if you gain value from this video, please hit the like button. Also, if you want to see more videos about tips and tricks and lifestyle about living in China, consider subscribing. If you have any ideas or want to see any videos in particular, just write them down in the comments below. Anyways, I'll see you next time.